Ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, good morning and welcome to our presentation of the Jesse Tree. For the last year, our Rock Kids have been learning all about the Jesse Tree, which tells the story of how God prepared a people to receive the incredible gift of his Son, Jesus Christ, born into the world. The Jesse Tree walks through Jesus' family tree, tracing all the way back to Adam and Eve in the garden.
The phrase Jesse Tree has its beginnings in the book of Isaiah. There we read of the great promises given to the Israelites that through the family of Jesse would come the long-awaited Savior of the world. But you know what? Instead of me telling you, why don't we go ahead and invite Isaiah out here to say hello? Come on, Isaiah.
Hi, everyone. This is my time of year.
Your time of year? Isaiah, why do you say that?
Because during Advent, we read from the book of Isaiah. We do this because I'm the prophet who told the people about a Messiah who would come and establish God's kingdom. Jesus fulfilled so many of my prophecies. This one, for example, there shall come forth a shoot from the stump of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Wait a minute. You said out of a stump shall come forth a shoot. What does that even mean?
Pastor, it's called a metaphor. It means God can bring something amazing even out of something that looks dead.
Got it. So from Jesse, an unlikely person, would come the Messiah. Well, thank you, Isaiah, and our lovely stump for joining us this morning. Today we are fortunate to have some other very special guests. These are people that you have read about and heard about, and you will have the opportunity to meet them face to face. Our guests are busy people, so let's get started.
They may have been thrown out of the Garden of Eden, but we are glad to have them here with us today, and thankfully fully clothed. I present to you Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, I love your shirts. I wasn't sure which was which. The first humans on earth. They lived in a beautiful garden God made for them, so let's have the garden come out and join us.
Oh, beautiful. That's so pretty.
You guys are great participants. What a beautiful garden God gave you guys to live in. Adam and Eve, to tell you the truth, I'm a little annoyed with you two. If you had done better, we'd all still be living in the garden and we wouldn't have to deal with all this sin and suffering.
Don't blame me. I just listened to Eve. Everything was Eve's fault.
Don't blame me. Adam was right there with me. Plus, the serpent made us do it.
The serpent? Well, that's not fair. Let's call the crafty serpent out so he can speak for himself. Hey, Eve says it's all your fault. What do you say to that?
Oh no, I hate to break it to you, but Adam and Eve really chose to disobey God's commands to them. I mean, I am tempter and pretty sneaky, but in the end, everyone has to choose to obey or disobey God.
Yeah, we thought that there might be more. We thought God was holding out on us.
It's human nature. People are always trying to get more than what they have.
But you know, the part of the story we often forget is that even after we were kicked out of the garden, God still loved us and wanted to bring us back to him.
That's true. Thank you, Adam and Eve and the serpent, for sharing how it all got started. And we appreciate the garden joining us to show us how beautiful your home was.
After that beautiful garden in time, all the people on earth became very sinful, but there was still one good man, Noah. Noah, come on out here.
Now, Noah, you were a good and righteous man, so God saved you and your family from the flood. Tell me, do you like pets?
No, those animals were not pets.
Oh, you don't like pets? That's kind of a problem because you had an ark full of animals. Could your animals come out here 2 by 2? A whole herd of animals.
No one's dead.
I'll show you. Good job.
I bet it was not fun being stuck on an ark with stubborn donkeys that were biting you and cows. Being stuck in a booth with all these animals for 40 days must have been stinky and terrible.
How did you feel, Noah, when God asked you to build an ark?
I was scared, but I trusted in God, and he made a promise that he would never flood the earth again.
right.
Oh yeah, that's what the rainbow was all about. God's promise to us that he would never flood the earth again. Trust in God because God watches over his people. Thank you, Noah. Great job to Noah and all of our animals.
Thank you, animals, for joining us today. So the world began with Adam and Eve, who were tempted to disobey, and then Noah, who tries to obey when everyone else is disobedient. But even from the beginning, we learn that God is chasing after us. Friends, this is a kid-friendly service, which means your kids are welcome to join us for the entire service. But if there are any infants through 4-year-olds who'd like to be dismissed to the nursery, you are welcome to do so at this time. My animals, if you will follow Miss Webb and Miss Sadie out, you can take off your costumes and then either come into your parents or head to the nursery.
Perfect. As they do, let's stand and sing together, Come Thou Long Expected Jesus. You may have a seat.
Many years after the flood, God became friends with one of Noah's descendants and his wife. It is my honor to introduce the patriarch of us all, Abraham, and his wife, Sarah. Abraham, what was life like for you?
When God called us, when God called us, we were nomads. We tended to our herds. We didn't have a real home.
I heard God made a promise to you, though. What was that promise?
Well, God told us to follow him, and we did. And then God said my descendants would be as numerous as the stars.
As many descendants as the stars?
Wow.
That is a lot of children.
Go ahead, Emma.
Have you ever heard anything like that? God promised Abraham many descendants, but I was no spring chicken. I was already 88 years old.
You're 88 years old? You look fantastic for 88 years old. It's unbelievable that you had all that child. Did God keep his promise to you?
He did. I nearly broke a rib laughing when I found out that I was to have a son named Isaac.
Thank you, stars, for reminding us about God's promises.
From Isaac came Jacob, my grandson.
Your grandson, Jacob. Well, let's invite Jacob out here. Jacob? Jacob?
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Hey, grandson, how are my great-grandchildren?
Thank you, Abraham and Sarah, for joining us and teaching us how you followed God.
Hello. Well, God blessed me with 12 rowdy boys.
I see. So God kept his promise to Abraham by giving you many children. Wow.
Yes, and let me tell you, with all those boys, my house was a mess.
Yeah, I bet. Let's invite, oh, perfect, those rowdy boys up here to join us. Yeah, I can see how with just 2 of them, your house would be very wild.
But these sons came the 12 tribes of Israel.
So from them came the 12 tribes of Israel. Wow. You know what, rowdy boys, this is great, but why don't you take your rowdiness back to your seats for me? Thanks. Yeah, thank you so much.
Sometimes we don't even have to act. Now I know parents aren't supposed to have favorites, but surely with 12 such rowdy boys in the house, you did.
Actually, I did have a favorite, and that caused a lot of trouble at home. My favorite son was Joseph. I spoiled him so much that his brothers sold him off as a slave.
Oh no, they sold him as a... How did you ever see him again?
Yes, would you like me to call him in?
Yeah, let's just call him in. We'll get the story from him. That'd be great.
Benjamin, I mean Levi, I mean Judah, I mean Joseph. I always get their names mixed up.
I get it. Come on up, Joseph. Hey, Joseph.
Hi, I heard you were talking about that time my brother sold me. Well, I eventually ended up in Egypt. Finally, I became close to Pharaoh. He liked me because I told him what his dreams meant. I told him that a famine was coming, and he put me in charge of all his stores of wheat.
Right. You must have been furious with your brothers.
I was at first, but now I see it was part of God's plan to have me go to Egypt, because there I was able to save my family when the famine came.
That is an amazing way God can use the hard things in our lives, even being sold into slavery by your brothers, and bring something good out of them. Thanks, Jacob and Joseph, for sharing your story.
So Adam and Eve, and then Noah, and then Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. Goodness, I wonder who we get to meet next.
Friends, just like God used the characters in the Bible to bless others, God takes all that we offer and uses our gifts for the blessing of our town, our friends, and our world. In Egypt for another 400 years, and a new Pharaoh took over, and he made God's people work as slaves in Egypt.
Israelites get out of slavery in Egypt.
Well, for that, we should call up our next guest, who is looking fabulous this morning. Moses.
Come on, Moses.
Would you bring you and your beard up here?
Come on, Moses.
Hi, I'm not real big on public speaking.
Okay, well, like that's what we're doing this morning. But I guess bring your brother Aaron up to help.
And probably my sister too. She's kind of the only reason I'm even alive.
She's the only reason you're Miriam. Come on up. But wait, what do you mean your sister is the reason you're alive?
Well, because when he was a baby, my mom sent him down the Nile River in a basket to save his life from the king who wanted to kill all baby boys. I followed the basket down the river to keep a close eye on him.
Yep, thanks to Miriam and God, I was found by Pharaoh's wife and raised in the palace.
From a basket to a palace. So I have to know, how did you get God's people out of slavery in Egypt?
Well, I didn't. God did.
What he means to say is that God sent plagues on Egypt, 10 of them in fact. When they finally couldn't stand it anymore, they let us go. We crossed the Red Sea and entered the desert.
Well, surely when you got to the desert, you were only there for a short time.
I wish. After we led the Israelites out of Egypt, we spent 40 years wandering in the desert. It was so hot.
40 years in the desert, I'm sweating just thinking about that, but why? Didn't you just ask God for directions?
No, we refused to follow God's command and trust in God's provision. We were supposed to take God's people into the promised land, but because we were disobeyed, we never got to enter it.
Instead, Joshua took God's people into the promised land, where the people built themselves into a nation and had judges to rule them.
I see. So the 3 of you lived in the wilderness while God guided you. That's pretty cool. Thank you for joining us this morning.
So when God's people finally entered the promised land, they had judges to rule them. Judges. I wonder what the judges did to lead God's people, and I also wonder, did they wear those cool wigs that judges in England wear?
That's a good question. I think we should invite Samuel out here because he would probably know what judges did.
I don't see a wig.
No wig, definitely not. Hey, Samuel, could you tell me, what was a judge? Did you work in a courtroom and hand down judgments?
Not really. A judge was more like a leader.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So what was the hardest part of your job?
Well, people were not happy. They were always fighting with their neighbors. Then they started complaining because they didn't have a king. They wanted to be like everybody else, to have a king to lead them.
Did you want the Israelites to have a king?
No, God is the only king we need, but God let them, leaders, have what they want.
Very good. So then who was the first king of Israel?
Saul was about then. Saul began to disobey God.
Oh, so Saul began to disobey God. So then what did you do?
Well, I had to find a new king for Israel.
Oh, I know this one. I know you were to anoint one of the sons of Jesse as king, right?
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Samuel, for telling us what a judge. You must be Jesse.
I am Jesse.
Very good.
That's right. Samuel came to my house to find his next king, which is strange because I'm not anyone special, just a normal guy.
Right, but I had said long ago that from the stump of Jesse would come a great grandson to be the Messiah of the world.
And that's me. I am Jesse. God honored me by choosing my son David to rule as king of Israel. And David became the greatest king that God gave to our people.
The greatest king. Well, then I want to meet him. Thanks, Jesse and Isaiah, for that interruption. Now let's invite King David out here. Looking majestic.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, King David, I hear you were Israel's greatest king.
Not exactly. Samuel was right. God is Israel's king. All the things that I accomplished as king were the works of God. I just did my best to love God.
Yeah, I bet you never made any mistakes, though.
Of course I made mistakes, but I always apologized to God, and God forgave me. Following God isn't about being perfect. It's about being repentant.
That's a really good point. Following God is not about being perfect. It's about being repentant. Thank you, King David, for reminding us of that this morning.
So many cool people who tried to follow God and who asked for God's forgiveness when they messed up, just like today. It's amazing how God uses ordinary people like us.
As we continue in worship, would you stand and join me in the liturgy as we light the Advent wreath? Let us stand. Advent helps us remember that Jesus was not alone. Advent helps us remember that we are not alone. Today we remember the many generations of Jesus' family tree as we anticipate the birth of Jesus. We remember God's love shown to us in the birth of a Savior. God, as we wait for your promised Messiah, fill us with love. Would you remain standing as we sing together, Once in Royal David's City? Let us sing.
Esther, Micah, all these characters. I am getting overwhelmed. Are we finally getting close to the Christmas story?
We are, and for that we need Mary and Joseph.
Hi everyone. It's so cool to remember how all of these people in the Bible are connected to Jesus.
Mary, you're right. We usually forget about all these people, but before Jesus was born, didn't your cousin also have a baby that was really important?
Yes, Elizabeth, my cousin, always wanted a child, but she was really old and she still didn't have one.
But like Sarah, in Elizabeth's old age, God sent a child and they named him John.
Oh yeah, that's John the Baptist. He was a wild child, eating locusts, living out in the wilderness, right?
Those were fun times, weren't they? Raising John and Jesus together, John really looked out for my son.
Mary, how did you feel when the angel said that you were going to carry God's son?
Well, I couldn't understand how it was possible and didn't know why God chose me, but I had to trust God knew better than I did.
And imagine my concern. The angel told me not to be afraid and to trust that this was God's plan. But I was just a kid and I couldn't believe this is what God wanted.
Just a kid and having a baby, I would be concerned too. But Joseph, what did the angel call you when he told you about the birth of Jesus?
He called me son of David because I was born into a kingly line that goes all the way back to David.
You see, my prophecy was true. Jesse was David's father. There shall come forth a shoot from the stump of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Right. So we have Mary and Joseph, Jesus' parents, and Isaiah, who prophesied long ago that this would happen.
And then we have King David. Come on out, David. And Joseph's family line. And Jesse, why don't you join us too, David's father?
And Samuel, come on out, Samuel, who anointed King David and who judged God's people after Joshua led them to the promised land.
And then we have Moses and Aaron and Miriam, who saved Moses' life. Come on out, you three. They led God's people into the promised land.
And Joseph, come on out, Joseph. And let's have those rowdy siblings of yours come and join us while we're at it. And how about Jacob, your father, as well?
And Jacob came from Isaac, the son of Abraham and Sarah, who are looking so good for their late 80s and will later be sharing their skincare routine. And let's get those stars out here to remind us of the twinkling promises God makes to us.
And Abraham was chosen by God to be the father of his people after Noah was saved from the flood.
And it all started with the helpfully labeled Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve and the serpent. Serpent, you had an important role in the story too.
And let's make sure to get that beautiful garden up here too, the place where Adam and Eve lived.
And it all started when God promised through Isaiah that from the stump of Jesse would come the Savior of the world.
And friends, that's the story of the Jesse tree.